Hello everybody and welcome to the next episode of Secret of Mana. In the last episode, we finally beat the Queen Aline, found out what she was up to, and now we found out that there's something wrong with Undine. Let's go and see what's up with her. First off, these killer fish. Kafilka fish, or whatever you want to call them. These dudes are pretty dangerous. I would suggest, highly, to avoid close quarters combat. I may have chose the wrong weapon for this. Actually, the spear. That makes sense for this part. This would be a good time to start using some charges because you're going to be fighting a little bit stronger of enemies. Weapon skill is up, so let's see. What is her... She hasn't leveled up her axe at all, but she hasn't leveled spear either. I would honestly say to give her the spear, give me the whip, because I don't think I've leveled that, so... And like I said, the same rule applies. You see an enemy, you beat it up. Simple, easy. And you might be like, but it's hard right now. You know, enemies are just wrecking my face. Yeah, they're gonna do that. But to make sure and make sure your future is succeeded and being good and, you know, doing well in a later game, good idea to just, you don't have to farm in this game, keep in mind. I'm not saying to farm. What I'm saying is just kill every enemy you see, and by the time you reach the end, you will be strong enough to beat everything. Do not skip out on just going around in areas and... What the... Came out of an egg. Kill it. Fire. Oh, where we don't have fire. Kill it with whip, spear, sword. But, yeah, like I said, you don't have to kill necessarily every enemy you see, but just try to make sure that every time you go to a screen, you kill at least half or all, depending on your patience level. I'd say I'd prefer all, but, yeah. Because, fun fact, when I was a kid, I would skip every single fight, required or not. I'd try to skip it until I'd get to a boss fight, and then I'd be miserable because I'd be level 1 on a lot of bosses, or 2, because all my levels were from killing bosses. Kind of reminds me of my 3-heart Majora's Mask run that I did a long time ago. It wasn't intentional, don't think I'm skilled for that. I did manage to beat almost every single boss in Majora's Mask with 3 hearts. But that's because I didn't pick up any heart containers and I didn't see any heart pieces in the game, so I was just like, man, they're really bad at hiding secrets in this game. I wonder why I can't find anything. And turns out I was just dumb. They were all over the place, riddled everywhere, and I just wasn't paying attention. But anyway, this boss, he can heal himself. Also, I might want to take this time to explain, if you have doubled an action, your action grid, this is very important in the game. And I thought I'd explain it once we start getting more levels and skills. The farther it is on this spectrum, the more they'll be aggressive. Farther on this spectrum, they'll still attack, but they'll be more guarded. Of course, on the spectrum, they'll be both keep away and guard, so keep that in mind. I prefer approach on bosses with the charge rate of whatever is highest on their current weapon and whatever is the best weapon for the specific scenario. However, yeah, just make sure that you have enough health. And like I said, I went and got some Angel's Grails and stuff like that, because you do not want to have no Angel's Grails with a weak team. Because let me tell you, that's not going to pay well. I speak from experience. They're actually doing more damage than I am. But I want to level whip, so... And with that, he's dead. This boss fight is not nearly that easy. I honestly got caught. Honestly, I have no idea why he wasn't moving around trying to kill me, because usually he does. Thank you. I am Undine. Or Undine, whatever you pronounce it. However you pronounce my name, my power is your reward. I'll give you 2 kinds of magic. Opal can use my recovery defense magic. Aster can use my battle magic. And me? Your mana sword will become one day more powerful than any magic. You can receive an elemental's power, such as Ice Saber on your sword, but it's ineffective and useless, and I wouldn't suggest it. Opal can cast Ice Saber on your weapon to turn enemies into snowmen. And take this with you. It is one of the mana weapons. I see pole dart. Now we can play darts. I wonder how high of a score I'll get. Call me anytime. You need a remedy. Gained Undine's powers, or Dinner. Undinner. Let's call her that from now on. No one can stop me now. Yeah, but everybody can stop me. I'm weak, puny, stupid. I didn't get any magic. But like I said, so you know, weapon magic level. Magic, Undine. Ice Saber. Weapons gain the power of water. This is useless because, in my personal opinion, Ice Saber is useful for when you want to get away in a quick situation. You can just pop that attack and they'll be stunned in that snowman state. Otherwise, if you stun them with the snowmanning, you can't attack them. So say you're way stronger than the enemies you're fighting. They don't do any damage to you and use this. The only purpose for using this would be to up your skill power, which I'll show you later how to most effectively upgrade your skill power, but Remedy recovers status. This basically makes Papui Grass useless, or rather, sorry, not Papui Grass, that's another game. Medical herbs. Those are useless in this game once you get Remedy, because it only costs 1 mana, and quite frankly, eventually you'll have more mana than you know what to do with. Cure Water. Borderline useless at the start of the game, but once you get it to like level 1 or 2, it is much more effective. Now let's switch to the punk, Aster. Aster. His skills. Freeze. Causes a freezing ice storm. This does a good bit of damage, not the best, but it does do a lot of damage for Undinner's sake. Acid Storm. Acid Rain lowers enemies' defense. This is okay, but quite frankly, I've never used it because I would honestly say Aster's magic uses the most mana, and I would suggest conserving his mana more specifically than hers as much as you can. Save his magic. Do not spend his magic on anything else but boss fights unless you are training it and you're going in and out of an inn. Otherwise, please, please, for my sake and yours, do not just randomly willy-nilly use his abilities like freeze, and then you just run out of magic, and by the time that you get to the boss fight, you have nothing to recover your magic and thus slowly die a painful death. That's happened to me. Anyway, off the tangent. Energy Absorb takes away an enemy's HP. It's by far the best ability Undine has to offer right now. And as such, I would highly suggest, since you're not going to be fighting a boss right off the bat, I would suggest training his a little bit and going into Undine's, or Undinner's, whatever you pronounce her name as, little hovel there. Same thing with her. And remember when I was saying the most effective way to level skill points? You get a bonus if you're in a boss or a, enemy area. So just keep that in mind. No matter what level you use, it doesn't... Oh, wow, glitch. Just keep in mind, whatever level you use of magic, be it her sword or whatever, mana cost does not determine how effective you get skill points, as far as I'm aware. So just keep that in mind when you're using abilities, that it doesn't matter what type you use, so you can conserve your magic and level it very high at the same time. I would also highly suggest leveling each ability to level 1 before you go to the next area, You don't have to level things far, but I personally think that it makes your life a lot easier if you level up your abilities to at least level 1, because, you know, it'll make it easier on yourself. Especially with her heal, you want to make sure that, if anything, that you level in this game, because you can beat this game without magic. I've done it. If anything, that Undine's magic is maxed, or whatever, every single level she gets a chance to level that. Make sure it's leveled. Also, second thing, if your ally is knocked down, they will, unfortunately, be unable to use their magic until they get up, so just keep that in mind. There's also a little thing you can do with, when the damage goes away, you can usually do a quick recover with them. But she doesn't look to be doing so good. And she's dead. Well, continuing on. That didn't go so well. But hey, it happens. I do not know why that guy's still charging it. That's weird. Usually he shouldn't be charging that in a regular area. Hopefully he doesn't keep doing that, because that would be awkward. Now that we've got her magic, let's go talk to her. I'll restore you. Want to save the game? Here. Use Undine's power in the to stop the lava from the underground palace. Crystal orbs are made to respond or react to an elemental's power. Yep. So now we have to go to the underground palace. So with that... Oops, sorry. Almost got a piece of dust in my throat. But... yeah, must have been... we have to go to the underground palace now, which isn't so far away, but... also, I would not suggest using the Cannon Brothers unless you absolutely have to or feel a need. Because like I said, attack power for a weapon, for the charge, goes up every time you use it or kill an enemy. And it is not discriminatory towards the level of the enemy, so... yeah. While you are currently at the level to benefit from the experience or money gained from these things, I would suggest going around a little bit, killing off what you can. And then, as you go through the area, just make sure you're killing all the enemies, and you're good. Like I said before. Just to prep yourself for the end of the game, because the end of the game does take a little bit of a difficulty curve that I've seen a lot of people say they hate, but, you know, them's the breaks. I personally think the difficulty curve's pretty interesting. But, anyway. He's level 1 boomerang, but nothing else. I think I'll probably put him on axe this time. I actually like having axe on the sprite character, which would be, in our case, Aster. Medical herb. Also, you can farm enemies for items, but, not too helpful. To the gloomy town of Pandora again. I wouldn't talk to the people guy. And with that, my whip is leveled up. So let's see what else I've got. I haven't leveled the pole dart at all. So I'll probably do that. The pole dart. Very good weapon. Long range. Single target. At least for now. It has a relatively good attack power out of all of the weapons, and honestly, I would say out of the ranged weapons, this one is probably the strongest, and has some of the most debuffing skills later on. It also has some of the highest accuracy. The bow has medium accuracy, and the boomerang has lower accuracy than that, for the most part. And the pole dart can also be used as a close range weapon if you get up on their face, like I am here. But overall, this has more of a chance of hitting if you know where to hit. I would suggest, for using the pole dart, I would suggest hitting at the bottom of the sprite, no matter what sprite it is, because you will always hit if you do that. The bottom or the middle, depending on the sprite size, because keep in mind, sprite size has a lot to do with the hitbox, so just keep that in mind when you're hitting that. For some ranged weapons, you may have to hit lower than what you would for a normal physical attack. And this science kind of comes from beating this game, I want to say 9 times, and playing it for over 20. So, yeah, that being said, that's just the experience I have with the weapon. Personally, one of my favorite weapons on... I technically have my own favorite weapons that I like to play as the main character, and then favorite weapons I like to have on them. Favorite weapons I like to use are the bow, the knuckles. Well, the knuckles are my favorite, and the bow is next. And then probably, I'd have to probably think about that one. Oh, we're at the village. I don't need to be in here. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Wrong address. I thought you were dwarves. Continuing on. One of the main benefits of the pole dart as well is it is ranged, so you can't hit over these mountainous terrains. Buzzy Bee gets whacked. Buzzy, huh? Since we are in an area where we are going to be needing his power at level 1 soon, I would probably like to start using this. Get that leveled up. Also, you can overlap a spell by using it right before they finish their pose. This calls for a spell overlap, which will increase the damage and basically good stuff will happen. So there's one thing I will say to not do with that would be to make sure that you don't get it over 999, because that will stop the overlap and you'll just be hitting for nothing. These enemies are pretty good to try this on, so I'm gonna try it. And meanwhile, with her, I think I'll just heal up. You'll still get XP even if the enemy is dead long beforehand. Now, at the rate that I have used it, I would say that I would be at least a good half. For leveling one of their magics. I have also, by the way, leveled every single magic to its max level. I do not suggest this, because I personally think that you should level skills of spirits as you see favoritism and fit. Not because you want to max them out, unless you just really want to max them out, because then that would be better than just for the sake of it. But that's enough of that. Let's continue on. Step, 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 step. Okay, which one's ready? Knuckle. Power Glove. Boomerang. Chakra. Nothing else. Let's see how close I am with the Cold Heart. I may have already leveled it, not really yet. I'm going to change to the Power Glove. And let's see her. Spare, yeah, she's almost leveled Undine. I'll put her on the axe this time. Also, a good idea if you want to keep your equipment balanced. Not your equipment, but your weapons. Like, always good to have a range, always good to have a close. You never know when the enemies are gonna go in close, and you never know when the enemies are going to be far away and you need to hit them. So I'd always suggest either 2 range or melee, or 1 ranged and all melee. But at least have 1 ranged at all times in your party unless you are leveling. With that, let's see, did I use any stuffs? Nope. Nope. You don't know how to stare, lady. Continuing on. Freeze, level 0. Gets rid of the lava. And here we have some of the more annoying enemies in the game at this beginning. These enemies will kill you very quickly, just keep that in mind. When I say it is good to have 2 melee weapons and 2 range, because these enemies can get in your face and they will also hit you with ranged attacks, so... Your survivability, by the way, is also increased because she has now learned Cure Water, which is a healing technique. So survivability has definitely increased since we started. Back when we had only patty candies and regular angel trails. These enemies are also dangerous. They increase their speed and their hit rate, so just keep that in mind. And likewise with these enemies, you want to hit them in the face. If you are using a melee weapon, you want to hit them in, like, their legs if you are using a ranged weapon. Ranged weapons can be slightly bigger. Even the whip can be bigger than regular weapons, so just keep that in mind, that the size of your weapon impacts your accuracy. Slime everywhere. Master reaches 11. That's pretty darn nice, because any levels that him and that girl get are going to be the best levels. Because the tankier they get, the better off you are. Because the main character, Levi, will always be the strongest physically and just regular strength-wise. Like attack and defense. So keep that in mind when you're using him. That it's not necessarily that the other two are necessarily bad, it's just they need armor and they need quite a few other things to prep themselves for the game. These are my goblins. Other ones are paw goblins. I don't know, I'm just thinking about the name. But as you get stronger and you level up, so too will your attack on your weapons. It's not just based on how many orbs you have, just in case you were wondering. Also, good thing I remembered to bring the whip with me, because I usually forget at this point. The whip isn't too much of a favorite of my personal choices of going to it. Alright, I can just switch to him. Let's see. More my goblins and goblins. These enemies can heal, but they can also increase their own defense. Just keep that in mind when you're fighting them. And they do have some tricks. Axe reaches level 1, so let's change her over to something else. Probably the pole dart. By the way, pole dart is one thing that you may want on both of these supports at any time, because they will eventually, that weapon will evolve and it will get special upgrades. That will cause it to do things to the enemies. Let's see. I don't want to waste your mana, so I'll just use the healing item. How rude! Yeah, these guys can stun lock you if you're not careful. So it's a good idea to make sure that your bots, or rather your AI for your allies, is programmed to attack them and stun lock them instead, so you can get out of that situation. Gloves reach level 2. It reaches level 1, and since we don't need that anymore, see what can you use? Actually, I forget what I keep having on him. He hasn't leveled the bold, pole dart, or the power glove, so I think I'll put him on bow. Bow it is. Full power. I said full power, dude. As you can see, it's taking longer to get full power with the charge attack. That is level 2 glove. These enemies are so close to each other. Ah, crap, all of our HP is low. Gotta use it. Also, I do not necessarily recommend, at this point in the game to sporadically heal. Like, heal at your own when you think you need to, but, I would suggest for healing anything under or around 50, you should definitely heal. But remember, you don't have any magic healing items right now, so conserve for magic, conserve your items, and try to avoid any damage if possible. Though I haven't really done a good job of it myself, to be honest. This is the stage room. You can't barge in here, me gnomes won't allow it. What a windbag, little brat. Take this. This is an outrage. Oh, I'm out of here. Look, back there. Evil Santa on Fire edition. He has Explorer level 4, but thankfully does crap damage because it used it on all of us. If it would have used it on one of us, it would have instantly killed us. That being said, this would be a good time to use some healing. Also, make sure that when you heal, always use it on all instead of one, unless you are in critical state. Otherwise, it will be a waste. Starting off the match against Fire, whatever his name was at the end of that. I didn't see it. I think it was Golem or something like that. To win this fight quickly, you could just spam magic on him. That's one of the tricks, anyway, to beating this guy, is you can just spam him with magic and he'll just die. Master leveled up his magic to level 1. You can also beat him to death, which is another alternative, I guess. Now that it's level 2, we'll start doing almost 200 damage to him. And before going on, I should definitely heal, because that sucker's gonna kill me if I don't. They should be leveling from Pure Water to level 1. Yep. One punch. Before he uses Fire Breath, I'm gonna cheat the system and heal. When you are inflicted with a status and you get down to 1 HP, you will not die. However, you will get down to 1 HP, so just keep that in mind when you're fighting, that if you still do get hit with statuses. Oh wow, he's just spamming the skills today. You may actually have to rely on something other than her heals. Especially since he killed me. Or killed Master. Charging up my lasers. There you go. He got hit by something. I'm not sure what he got hit by. Zoom! And then slow as a turtle. Fire! Well, this has definitely killed me. Oh, no, it didn't. I'm surprised. See, I don't think she has enough mana. Nope. I'll use one on Opal, one on Master, and one on myself. Just be safe. If he's not dead now, I'll use the magic to kill him. Because it's getting kind of, too dangerous for me in the hot water. Yep, I'm gonna have no choice. You asked for it, buddy. And there he goes, he's gone. Figured he was like one ability away from being dead. Na-na-na-na! Axe's orb. Phew, thanks. That oaf was always bugging me. Forgive me, I used you to get some relief. Dolt, serve me and maybe I'll forgive you. Otherwise I'll throw you to my servant, Levi. I know, please let me be your servant. Hey, who are you calling a servant? Oh dear. Anyway, call me anytime, anywhere. That sounds like Kim Possible. Now close your eyes. Both you and your wife may summon me. What? Me married to that? I like your style, Gnome. Well, that's that. Be seeing you. Got Gnome's powers. To the Mana Seed. Receive the seed's power. I asked her. Ow. My head. You okay? Oh. What's wrong? I remember everything now. We live in the Upperland Forest. You've got to take me there. I'll let you hang out with me until we arrive. What a treat. So now that we've gotten known, we've almost run out of time. Next episode, we'll be actually going around in Pandora and finding out what's up with all those people who keep just ignoring us. Or just saying weird crap behind our backs. See you guys then.